Morning, good morning, Big Square, roadroad.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. Lots going on the road to Ruta, but I'm going on vacation. Bravo, Big Square. Good 6 months of work. It's time for my vacation. It is my birthday on July 4th. So, taking the family on vacation. We're never together. My son's back from Europe for the break they have between their soccer season. My daughter's coming up. My other son's between dance events. So we have a week. And we're going to spend it in New Orleans. Woohoo! No, I'm still not drinking. So, but we have lots of stuff planned. It's not only drinking. You can still do all the stuff you did. Just no alcohol. And I might have a drink. I don't know. I'm not religious about it. So, but I plan on seeing New Orleans this time. I've been there 3 or 4 times. I plan on seeing it this time. Not from the bottom of a Coors Light bottle or a Hurricane or whatever I've been drinking there. Yes, many times. But I'm real excited. We're doing a high-speed swamp boat, one of those fan boats. Going on a midnight ghost tour. I have family there. We're going to hang out with family. And my cousin and his family live there. We're going to just party like there's no tomorrow. Really excited. So I'm taking the week off. I'll check in here and there. And there's so much going on the road to Ruta. Oh my God, this Spokane thing is turning bigger than I thought. So yes, Spokane, Washington on July 14th. It's a Sunday from 2 to 6 in Spokane at the Chateau Rive. Really cool spot in the basement. It's really cool looking. And then there's an outdoor area. We're going to hook something up out there. Appetizers provided. There'll be a no host bar, so you buy your own cocktails. And get ready because David Morgan's going to be there and Benny Wills. And if you don't know, most of you guys know David Morgan. If you've been in silver, you know David Morgan a lot better. If you've been on Acapulco, you might know David. If you're just cryptos, it's time to learn about David Morgan. Great guy, great freedom fighter. And I told him, I go, we're gonna go light on silver analysis. Everybody knows that. I want you to go heavy on freedom because he has very, very strong views on personal freedom. And great guy. I've known him for 20 years almost. That's crazy. We were speaking in the same circuit, along with Jeff Berwick back then in Spokane. So it's really cool. It's the return of Spokane after I got kicked out of the Silver Summit after 3 years of presenting there because they said I was too controversial. They said, Bix, you're making all our mining companies upset by what you're saying. And what was I saying? I was saying the mining executives are fools to let their industry be destroyed by market manipulation and the people like Jeffrey Christian. And I was right. What happened to silver? Destroyed because they hold the price down. What happened to the mining companies? Layoffs all over the place. Destroyed. Did they listen to Big Weir? No, they didn't. What they do? They kicked me off the stage. But I'm back. I'm back. September 14th. It's going to be a great show. And I want to introduce the Road to Ruta community and all the crypto community to a guy who is amazing, Benny Wills. His YouTube channel is Joy Camp, and it's conscious comedy. I am doing an interview of Benny today, and I will post it either later today or tomorrow. Amazing guy. I saw him at an Acapulco last year. He had like 3 shows. Spot on. Everything you can't say, he does say with comedy. So we're going to talk about censorship as well. Hysterical. I was just freshening up on what he's doing these days, going through his. Go to Joy Camp, hit subscribe. Make sure you subscribe because you're going to want this one. And go check out a couple of his videos. I was crying laughing on some of them. Alice in Wonderland, Esoteric Tour of San Francisco. One of my favorites is called Progressive Service Announcement. Not a public service announcement, but a progressive service announcement that he says all those words you're not allowed to say. And it's like, why am I not allowed to say this word? It's hysterical. So definitely, if you're into freedom, if you're into cryptos, silver, gold, anything related to freedom, free speech especially, go subscribe to Joy Camp. And that's what the front looks like. And check out a couple of his videos. You'll say, oh my God, where has this guy been? And that's what Benny looks like. Here's one of the words he analyzes, retarded. You're not allowed to say retarded anymore. Highly offensive. He goes through all kinds. Oh, it's hysterical. Go watch that. It's so funny. It's retarded. Yeah, he's gotten strikes. We've fought some of the same battles. And let's talk about this guy. Not in the same context as retarded. My good friend Dick Allgire. They are very close to something really big right now. And Dick's been putting out some clues. Crypto Viewing. Make sure you subscribe to Crypto Viewing and join their Patreon. Because what they got coming is the mothership. And I've used some of their information in my data and to narrow down timing on my special report, the timeline article that you can find at Road to Ruta in the private road section. Now, it's two video series. It's the timeline and the end of the Road to Ruta. I've been on the Road to Ruta for 20 years. Well, no, since 2007, when the Fed released the Road to Ruta documents. So check it out. But I will be posting it on Patreon coming up. I don't know what day yet. The private road has had it for a week, and I've gotten great responses. And they're like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. And that's what I'm trying to do. I try to connect dots to make sense. Not from what other people tell me. Although I got some great information from Dick's RV. And so you're going to want to see Dick's RV on the US dollar. I haven't seen the part 2 of it, which they did more remote viewing. I can't wait to see that. And I'll put my Road to Ruta spin on it. But definitely, if you're going to subscribe, there's a few Patreons I love. Of course, you got to be on the Road to Ruta. But Crypto Viewing, Michelle White Dove, Jay Snip, SGT Report. There's some really good ones. And it's worth the small amount of money that you got to pay on a monthly basis. It's worth it. Because they can say things on Patreon. You can say things that you can't say on YouTube. And I'll be talking to Benny about that today. Because he says a lot of things. But interesting, because he says it with comedy. You know, you can talk about 9/11 if you throw some comedy in there. And sometimes they don't... they allow you to monetize your videos, but mostly not. And I think he's got 2 strikes. So he might disappear from YouTube. But that's the key is finding other avenues. Patreon's good. I hear you can't go completely hog wild, but at least they're better than YouTube. And the problem with YouTube is massive amount of time, energy, and work went into building these YouTube channels and building the subscriber base. And now YouTube, Google, and the deep state that control them are censoring, are shadow banning, which is 50 times worse. It's fine to demonetize. Just, at least you know. And it's, if you're going to censor, at least tell people. The shadow banning is when they take a video and they hide it from the world without telling you. And you're like, this is the greatest video I ever did. How come it's only got 100 views when I normally get 10,000 views? That's the criminality. That's what they don't tell you, the shadow banning part. And they've caught people on tape. The Veritas guys got people on tape saying that they shadow ban. Same with Twitter. They shadow ban. Which is the worst, is shadow ban. Because you don't know why. And they're doing it in secret. And no, they are not a private company. You might think that, but they were set up and controlled and created by the CIA using their investment arm, InQtel and other companies like that. It has been proven many times. Same with Facebook. Facebook's 50 times worse. Zuckerberg can't even program. I don't know why people think he's a computer programmer. He didn't do it. It was the deep state, Larry Summers, his boss at Harvard. That's who got Zuckerberg into Facebook. That's where it was created. It was created as a social experiment from the CIA, and it went completely deep state. Such a powerful tool. Now it's all around the world. So yeah, do a lot more research. YouTube's obvious. A guy named Mark Collins Rector has a patent for YouTube that he filed in the 1990s, and we all know who Mark Collins Rector is. Look up DEN, Digital Entertainment Network, and the pedophiles that run around that group. It is not good. But that was YouTube. That was how it was created. Even the founders of YouTube, the supposed founders, I think it was 2006, 2007, came out and said, well, we don't really know how it started. I think it was at a dinner party. And then the other guy goes, it wasn't at a dinner party. What are you talking about? They don't know how it started because they didn't start it. It was the CIA that took over for the pedophiles in Hollywood when they had to split town and run off to Spain. All this, well, I had to remove most of those videos. Legal issues. But you can find it yourself. Just look up the guy Mark Collins Rector and patent. I think in the patent, his official, he changed his name to MARC. I think it's MARK in the patent, along with Chad Shackley, where he was just Mark Collins Rector's boyfriend at the time, a young kid. But they both filed for the patents. I think there was one more guy. And this is in the 1990s, long before YouTube officially got started in 2006, 2007. So there is your red pill for the day. Again, Crypto Viewing's got a big one coming out, and it's all about the US dollar. So check them out, and that's going to come out on Patreon. Hopefully they'll keep it at one of their lower levels. They have many levels of cost. And if you get information you love, stick with it. I'm loving Snippy's information these days. It's really, well, he's all about the psychics and the woo-woo. So if you're like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense as far as the structural parameters behind the market structure for technical analysis. Snippy doesn't even look at that. Well, he used to briefly until it didn't work. And he learned that technical analysis is the greatest tool that the manipulators have. Look, we hit a double head and shoulders bottom, and everybody starts buying, and then they slam it down and destroy everybody because they screwed up the technical. It's so easy to do. They're like lemmings, everybody jumping off at the same time. And the riggers love that stuff. Riggers, I mean the big riggers who have infinite amounts of money created at them. Exchange stabilization fund, stuff like that. Yes, they're in cryptos. They're bringing cryptos up on purpose. And that's the other thing I want to talk about. The cryptos, don't even look at numbers. They're rigged. But they're going to be rigged massively higher. As in 100x from right here. Very soon. Within a year, a lot of these will be 100 times what they are. Because of what's going to happen to the fiat monetary system. 100 times. Now is not the time to be selling. Oh, I'm going to sell the top. I'm going to buy back when it drops. Yes, it's going to drop. It's going to drop hugely. 70, 80, 90, 99.9%. Absolutely. A click of a mouse, they can do that. You HODL, if you keep your cryptos in your own possession, and you HODL for long enough, you're going to be the richest guy you know. Why? Because at the end of the day, the riggers are going to go away when the old system crashes. You won't know what your crypto's worth. But when the system gets up and running again, you're talking $1 million Bitcoin, $2 million, $10 million Bitcoin. Litecoin, 4 to 1 at a minimum. So what's 4 to 1 at? Let's say the conservative number for the end of 2018 at $100,000, which is a 10x from here, right? About. Litecoin, the most useful coin as a means of exchange, will go 4 to 1 when it's needed. That puts Litecoin at $25,000 per Litecoin when the system crashes. Just that's a starting point too. I think it's much more valuable than that because Bitcoin is a great store of value, but there's lots of stores of value. So what? Would you rather have gold or Bitcoin? I don't know. As just a store of value, as in that's all it wants to do. Litecoin is going to adopt the Lightning Network and again be used as that means of exchange that humanity needs. It's a necessary thing, whereas Bitcoin stores of value are not necessary. You can store value in land and property if you buy at the bottom at the right time. So yeah, and at 100 to 1 right now, or 80, it's 90, 93 to 1, I think it is, the ratio, Litecoin to Bitcoin. That'll be moving to 4 to 1 at a minimum. Same with silver to gold. So make your choices, right? All right. Yes, but I do think we are looking at it's not the summer of all great things. Oh, it went up 20% and 30%. It's the summer of, oh my God, it dropped 80% in a day. Oh my God, it jumped 5,000% in a day. What is happening? It's when the computers start banging heads and everybody rushes to scramble to rig it and to buy it and then try to pull them off the exchange. Good luck. It'll be too late. You can trade it, but you can't pull it off. A lot like Mt. Gox. Those of us who lived through Mt. Gox, we're talking 20 or 30 Mt. Goxes headed our way because they don't have the cryptos. They don't have them. Not even Coinbase, not even Kraken, not even Gemini has all the cryptos that their customers claim to own. The best estimates I'm hearing are 80 to 85% for the really good exchanges. The crap ones barely have 1 or 2%. Especially now that the big exchanges have been trying to get their hands on the real thing. Get out. Get your cryptos and get out. If your cryptos have to be locked up for more than 3 or 4 days after you buy them, you're screwed. You don't want that kind of risk out there. All right, that's it. I got to get off to my interview with Benny. Again, if you want to go to the July 14th event in Spokane, it's huge. It's going to be fun. 2 to 6 at Chateau Rive, R-I-B-E. Send me an email, bix@roadtoroota.com, just so I know how many people to expect. All right, that's it. And bring your friends. I'll talk to you later.